of Rotterdam. And I know we did a good job. I had help from a lot of people. And I think we made a lot of good friends, and we did a lot of good programs for the town. Let me just make this very clear to everyone here, and the board can attest to this. I never called any board member and asked them to put me back here when I was out for a year, after I retired. There was no deals made. I never asked any board member to put me back here or to get rid of Diane Marco. So I want to make that very clear. When I was asked if I would go back, I asked why, and they said that Miss Marco was no longer going to be here. If there was an opening, I would come back to the senior center. But again, I never asked for anybody to create an opening for me. My fear is that this situation that you have here will not be resolved. It's going to be in limbo like other situations that are here. And my only concern is for the senior center and the programs there. What happens if no one's there? So that's when I agreed, if there's an opening at the senior center, I agreed that I would go back there. This difference, like many other differences in this town board, need to be resolved either way. You all need to come up with a plan to resolve your differences and understand each other's roles. What goes on in these meetings and in this town is a reflection to all of the residents, and quite honestly, we don't look too good to other communities. I just want everybody to know too that when I was asked to come back here and told there was a position open, I called every board member on this board. Is that true?
Yes.
And to speak to you about that. So I just want to make that very clear. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak?
Resolution number 88.11, appoint Laurel A. Komosensky to the position of Information Processing Specialist 2 with full employee benefits at a salary of $35,889.88, effective February 23rd, 2011.
The motion?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Supervisor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Mr. Godlewski?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeva?
In explaining my vote, Mrs. Komosensky is the IPS specialist right now. Her salary in the budget right now is actually $36,690. They want to add more responsibilities to her title, so the judges have asked us to make her an IPS 2. An MOA that's going to be signed is just changing the title so they can put it in the contract to negotiate having the IPS 2. So as far as costing the town any money, what it is changing the title of her position. But her salary here is $35,889 and change, and her actual salary in the budget from the years that she has, and she does have longevity, it's $36,690. So therefore, I do vote yes.
Mr. Martin? Mr. Calder?
I just want to mention one thing. I've spoken with Judge Litz on this matter because it's in his court that this position is there for. And I've also spoken to the CSEA president who is here today. My understanding originally was that there wasn't a problem with anyone or the CSEA as long as there was a different route that was followed to get to that point. And my also understanding is after some discussion today by different people that this was worked out. So with that in mind, I'm hoping that I got the right information. I'm going to vote yes.
Supervisor Delgado?
Yes. Motion passed.
Resolution 89.11, appoint John DeGiorgio of Rotterdam to the position of Project Coordinator, Office for the Aging, effective March 1st, 2011.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Supervisor.
Is there a second?
Before we motion, I'd like to make a motion to remove it from the agenda. I apologize I wasn't here at the agenda meeting yesterday, but everybody on the board knows where I stand with this. I don't approve of Ms. Marco's removal, and I'd like to make a motion to remove it from the agenda. And if we're going to go down this path, there has to be some type of vetting process for whoever's going to get into this position. I'm just not comfortable with how fast this is going, so I want to make a motion to remove it. You all know why and knew this is coming, so I make a motion to remove it from the agenda.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor already. You
Okay.
have to finish that motion, and if it's defeated, it's basically gonna kill it anyways.
Okay, I think that's fine.
Is there a second? We have a motion of Mr. Godlewski, we need a second.
Second. I second it.
Mr. Godlewski?
Yes?
Mr. Leva?
I'd like to explain my vote. I'd like to answer a couple things that was stated up here. As you all know, I've been on the forefront of this. The town board did not discuss the firing of Diane Marco. We were told, when I actually found out, when I got a call from Diane stating she just received a letter, had no clue. That wasn't discussed with the board. Matt had no knowledge. Wayne had no knowledge. I had no knowledge. Just like the girls that were moved. I have been begging for those girls to go back to their positions. 2 of them are retiring within the next year or 2, but yet now it's stated they moved there for training. I don't know. Now we have Diane Marco in the room, and we have John DeGiorgio in the room. John and I have been friends for maybe 30 years, and it puts us in a horrible position, because no matter what, 2 people are being dragged through the mud because a decision was made by people on this board, and I can tell you, 3 of them did not make that decision. And it's really sad to put us in this position. I don't understand why we're doing this. There's so many other things, like John said in Rotterdam, that we should really be putting our efforts, our time, and our money. And in the last month or so, we're spending money on grievances that are senseless. We're destroying people's lives. They have anxiety, they're not eating, they're sick, because nobody knows what's coming down the pipe. So I apologize to both Diane and I apologize both to John DeGiorgio, because neither of these 2 people ever should have been in this position. And I have to vote no, because I can't go along with something that in my heart I know is so severely wrong. And actually I am so ashamed of sitting on this board and having to deal with this and have no power to change it because somebody else says I can do it because I can. I vote no.
Mr. Martin?
For the aforementioned reasons, and I also want to make one thing clear, I'm not contesting or disagreeing with the supervisor's authority to do so, I just simply disagree with that. So it's a logistics thing that I don't agree with, so my vote is no.
Mr. Calder?
Well, this is not good, this whole system's not good right now, but I'm gonna have to vote no.
Supervisor Donatello?
There's more to this story than everybody knows in this room. I'm not a vicious person. I have no hard feelings with Diane or anybody else in this room. And I do what my job called for, and I vote yes. Motion.
Motion did not carry.
Did you vote? Motion denied.
I need to ask the question, Mr. Supervisor, I need a promise from you that you are not going to lock the doors of that senior citizen center on Monday as you have threatened us if we voted no. You need to promise the seniors in this building, you can all stand up and make him promise that those doors will not be locked. You need to promise that they won't be locked. And Bob, don't whisper, I'm not listening. Well, all I can say is if they are locked, I apologize, but I'm telling you, I hope to God they're not, and if they are,
Call for the public hearing.